He said, the good shepherd. Shepherd leads the flock. He said, I know my sheep and I'm known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. What sheep? Like you say, Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. 12 tribes of Israel. Listen to what he said, verse 16. This is key, this one here. After he said he laid down his life for the sheep, he said, and other sheep I have who we read about in Galatians and Romans and whatever chapters you want to go to in the New Testament. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold. That's why they say the circumcision and uncircumcision. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. See? And that was prophesied when you go to, what is Ezekiel 37. And let's look at verse 16. Ezekiel 37:16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick, and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. That's the southern tribes and the northern tribes. That's why you see that 12 tribes, y'all. Scattered among all nations. And join them one to another into one stick. That's what Mashayach is saying. Other sheep he had. And you got to bring it to the sheepfold. You have one shepherd. And join them one to another into one stick. And they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people, who are the children of Israel, shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? So what do you mean by saying this? Say unto them, thus said the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, who is Ephraim, which is in the hand of Ephraim, Ephraim being the head tribe of the 9.5 tribes, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, meaning all the other tribe, northern tribes that was with the tribe of Ephraim, and all his fellows, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, is dealing with the northern kingdom, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And you're going to bring us back together as the 12 tribes of Israel. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar. Bring us back together. Manasseh. Lead us all 12. And bring us all together as one. Verse 20. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. So we got to have the tribes in front of their eyes. And said to them, thus said the Most High Power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, as we read about in Romans and Galatians and so forth, whither they be gone, and will gather them one on every side, and bring them into their own land. We're going to bring us to our own land. Isaiah 14:1-3 tells us that. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Thus say the Most High. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, sins, But I will save them out of all their dwelling places, where we scattered among all these nations all over the world, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power. Hallelujah. That's what this is all about. That's why when you see Mashayach saying what he's saying, this is what he's doing. This is what he sent Paul initially to do. Dealing with the spirit of Mashayach, the spirit of the Most High. Reaching out to these other sheep that the Mashayach is talking about in St. John 10 and 16. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice. Hear my voice. How do they hear the voice of a Mashayach? Through Paul and Peter and all the apostles that went out to the scattered of the children of Israel, James and so forth. They're going to hear Mashayach's voice through them, because they had the spirit of Mashayach, which is the spirit of the Most High. And there shall be one fold, that we just read, and one shepherd, who is Mashayach Yahawashi. Therefore does my Father love me, because I laid down my life, that I might take it again. So he died and rose on the third day. That's our power. Ezekiel 16. Ezekiel 16 and 63. Ezekiel 16:63. Let's look at verse 62. We got to start at verse 60. Ezekiel 60-60. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee in the days of thy youth, and I will establish unto thee an everlasting covenant. Then thou shalt remember thy ways, and be ashamed, when thou shalt receive thy sisters, thine elder and thy younger, and I will give them unto thee for daughters, but not by thy covenant, not by the Most High's covenant, his agreement with us. And I will establish my covenant with thee, and thou shalt know that I am the Most High, that thou mayest remember and be confounded, confused, and never open thy mouth any more because of thy shame, when I am pacified toward thee for all that thou hast done, said the Most High power. I mean, we done did a whole lot, y'all. But he's saying he gonna bring this covenant to us. Now, who the covenant with? These scriptures will clear it up. The covenant of the Most High. Psalms 105, 8 and 9. Psalms 105, 8 and 9. It's the covenant. You can't put anybody else in there unless you just gonna write your own verse. Listen, Psalms 105 and 8, 9 and 10. He hath remembered his covenant forever. I mean, his covenant, his agreement, his contract is forever. Who's it with? The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. Which covenant he made with Abraham. That's what we're going over. And his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law. So you see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I always tell you that Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Here it is. And to Israel, who comes from the seed of Jacob, for an everlasting covenant. There it is. That's the covenant right there. To Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, to the 12 tribes of Israel. An everlasting covenant. You need more? I mean, because people want to act like, you know, you go to church and they try and bring this covenant this covenant of the Most High with everyone. No. Jeremiah 31:31. Let's go in. Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, the days come, said the Most High, that I will make a new covenant, a new agreement, a new contract with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So that's the northern tribes and the southern tribes, representing the 12 tribes of Israel. I mean, you can say the house of Esau, house of Ammon, house of Moab, house of Ham, house of Elam, who I'm missing? Ishmael. Say any of them. But what did he say? Behold, the days come, said the Most High, that I will make a new covenant, a new agreement, a new contract with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, and came out of Egyptian captivity into the wilderness, which my covenant they break. We broke the laws of the Most High. Although I was an husband unto them, said the Most High. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with them, with the house of Israel, after those days, said the Most High. I will put my law in their inward parts. We're going to put the law in our inward parts. We're going to study the law and operate with the law in our inward parts and write them in their hearts, in our minds, and will be their power. And they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. See that? We don't have to teach our neighbor anymore. And every man his brother, saying, know the Most High, know Mashayach Yahawashi, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, said the Most High. For I will forgive their iniquity. He's going to forgive our wickedness, our sins. And I will remember their sin no more. Hallelujah. That's the promise that the Most High promised us. Those that's going to take heed. Now go to Hebrews 8:8 for all you New Testament buffs. So I know about the New Testament. That's the Old Testament. The New Testament. What the New Testament say? Okay, let's see. Hebrews 8:8. Like I told you earlier, we got to go from the old to the new to the old. Hebrews 8:8. For finding fault with them, finding fault with us, the children of Israel, he said, behold, the days come. Hebrews 8:8. Said the Most High, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Same thing we just read in Jeremiah 31:31 down. Listen, give you understanding. Not according to the covenant or the contract of agreement that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said the Most High, by giving us to our enemies in captivity, slavery, and bondage over and over again. Verse 10, for this is the covenant, the contract of agreement that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. Who live in a house? Family. When we say house, that's the family of Israel. 12 tribes of Israel. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, in our minds, man. He's going to put his laws in our minds. That's why we're rehearsing right now. Those that's going to be the elect, the ransom, the sheep that hear Mashayach's voice, the justified, the glorified, the sanctified, the elect, the election, the remnant, the all, which is a certain number, the few, the many, the chosen, the called, all of this, dealing with the children of Israel. He said, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Most High, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness. You know, mercy and grace only came to who? The saints, who are the children of Israel. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities, wickedness, will I remember no more. In that he said, a new covenant, he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxes old is ready to vanish away. We're going to put it in our minds, in our spirits forever, that we don't have to teach to know the Most High. To Mashayach teaches for 1,000 years. That's what he's doing. That's what he's talking about. That's what's going to happen. Mashayach will teach us of the Most High. 1,000 years of learning of our Heavenly Father. Then the Mashayach will be subject to a Mashayach Yahawashi. I mean, to the Most High. Mashayach will be subject to the Most High. Then the Most High gonna be all in all. That's what this is all about anyway. You know, you got too much endowed in yourself when it's all about the Most High. He the one gotta be all in all. See, y'all looking for something else. Gotta understand. Look at go back to Romans 3:19. Romans 3:19. Now we know that what things soever the law saith is said to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped and all the world may become guilty before the Most High. So we know the law was given to the children of Israel. Psalm 147:19 and 20. We just went over that. Romans 7. Romans 7. Romans 7 and 12. Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. Most High is good, and his laws and his commandments are good. What then? That which is good made deaf unto me. The law I'm following made brought deaf unto me. Most High forbid. But sin, which is transgression of the Most High's laws, breaking his rules and regulations, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good, which is the law, that sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful. See, you gotta look at it. Wow, he's feeling it. He's feeling it. What he's doing wrong says exceeding sinful. Not just sinful, but exceeding sinful. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sins. He said the law is spiritual, holy, pure, and true. Coming from the Most High, you think it's not spiritual? The Most High is a spirit. Everything he brings forth is spiritual. You better understand. He said, hey, we carnal. We dealing with the flesh. That's why you got to stay spiritual. And the flesh is warring against the spirit. You got to let the spirit win. You want to make it to the kingdom? Most High is a spirit. Everything he brings forth is spiritual. So you better understand that you're going to overcome the wiles of the devil through the spiritual and not through the carnal. You have no way you can defeat him. Through the carnal, the flesh. Try it. Give me a report back. See if it works. Because that's all a lot of y'all working on anyway, is your carnal self. I'm going to do a lesson on carnal and spiritual. Must, because a lot of you, that's how you rolling. When you think you're in the spirit, you're off. You're off. And the Most High going to visit you. Trust me. Verse 14, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin, he's saying. But that which I do, I allow not. But what I would, that I do not. But what I hate, that I do. See, let me know, hey, I'm out of it. I'm jacked up. I'm supposed to be doing this, but I'm doing something else. So that eliminates him being holier than thou. Mashayach told him, hey, you're going to suffer for my name's sake. Since you was against me, anybody that spoke about me, you was against them. Matter of fact, you was there to put them to death. Oh yeah, you're going to suffer for my name's sake. So he had to learn how to be all about Mashayach Yahawashi. That's what he was about. He suffered for that. Since he was dealing with our brothers and sisters that believe in the Mashayach Yahawashi as Saul in such a demeaning to death way. Now he had to suffer for it. That's why he said he had to come out of that way he thought. Carnal. That's carnal. Mashayach Yahawashi, the only way you're gonna see him is spiritual. You're not spiritual, you can't see him. You ain't seeing the Most High. The Most High is a spirit. And then must worship him how? In spirit and in truth. So if you ain't got no faith, you don't believe, what's the point? You dead already. You condemn yourself already. That's what he's saying. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. See? Hate these things, but you do it. He had to work out his own salvation with fear and trembling. That's why he said, look, in verse 24, oh, wretched man that I am. You know what he's saying? Oh, wretched man that I am. This marvels in the eyes of the Most High too. Oh, wretched man that I am. Who shall deliver me from the body of this death? So I thank the Most High by Mashayach Yahawashi, the neighbor Lord said, through Mashayach Yahawashi, our power, our master. So then with the mind I myself serve the law of the Most High, but with the flesh, the law of sin. So with the mind I'm serving the law of the Most High. With the flesh, the law of sin. I'm sinning. Let them know. I mean, and that eases the pressure off of those that are a stranger, a foreigner, uncircumcised, or the children of Israel scattered, dispersed of children of Israel. Let them know, hey man, we're in this together. Well, you hear them say us, including himself. That's marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. What he said, oh wretched man that I am. He wrote most of the New Testament. But a lot of his writing is hard to understand because he was a Pharisee. He was raised a Pharisee. So he knew the law. And he never, people say, he did things contrary, taught people against the law. No. And even with faith, over Mashayach Yahawashi, you're looking at Romans 3 and 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? Are we just going to cancel out the laws of the Most High because you got faith in the Mashayach Yahawashi? The Most High forbid. Yeah, we establish the law. There it is. So don't get it twisted, as many have. So with that, I'm going to conclude. We'll continue on this. I hope that was edifying for you. And you study and, look at how important it is that righteousness is by faith in the Mashayach Yahawashi, and the righteousness is by the law also. See, Deuteronomy 6 and 25. That we keep the commandments of the Most High. We read, started with Revelation 14 and 12. That's what it said. So, if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can send your alms or donations. If you feel free to P.O. Box 20012, Long Beach, California, 90801-3012. That's P.O. Box 20012, Long Beach, California, 90801-3012. And I hope that was edifying. I'm going to go over this myself. And I'm out. Shalom. All praise to the Most High.